Hey, what's up guys? Matt here. Welcome to another video from Confessions from the Driver's Seat with Matt Bramer Tech Week. This episode, I'm talking about my iPhone 10. So the previous episode, I talked about iOS 14 Beta 1 for my iPhone 10. And this week, I'm talking about my iPhone 10 as is. It has been 2 years since I got my phone, my iPhone 10. I got it shortly before or shortly after we got our dog Penny. So, some good things. At the time, there were no iPhones that were full screen and didn't have a home button. So this was the first of its kind. So I had to get it. I am a little disappointed that they didn't have the larger screen size at the time that I was purchasing this. But it's been great. I haven't really needed a bigger screen. Of course, I want a bigger screen. And hopefully, when it's time to get a new phone, I will get a larger screen iPhone to kind of test out the difference. But I love the no home button. My wife has an iPhone 8 Plus, and it's always funny when she goes to grab my phone and she like taps the bottom of the screen, but there's no home button, so it's funny. And we finally, with an update, I don't remember what update it was. I think it was iOS 13 maybe, that you could put two faces under Face ID. So now my wife has her face on there, which is great. Otherwise, she'd have to type in the passcode, which kind of stinks. But now that it's on there, it's great. I also love Face ID. It's incredible. It's so much faster than the Touch ID. Well, yes, I do. I like it more because you have the privacy of the notifications. If someone grabs your phone and touches the screen, they can see that you have notifications, but they can't read the notifications. If they had your face, they could see the notifications, and they kind of come up as like you're unlocking the phone, which is really great. I love that feature. I never used it on my iPhone 7 Plus, was my previous iPhone, because if the second I put my thumb on the thumbprint, it would unlock the phone. So there was no point in locking the notifications down to not be seen until I put my thumb on the thumbprint for it to just completely negate the home screen. So I really like the the lock screen with the notifications. A gripe I have, as you know, I take many photos and videos with my phone, but a gripe that I have is the camera for the iPhone 10. It is all right, I will say. Now, the 4K 60 frames per second video is awesome, but I'm trying to remember exactly the term that is used. It's something to do with the highlights and the lowlights and the shadows. If something is really blown out with the iPhone 10, there's nothing you can do about it. It will be blown out. If you tap on the screen to lower the ISO, it will continue to be blown out. Or it'll just turn everything down and it won't look good. It'll look like a muddied mess. With the more recent iPhones, the 10s, well, I think it might have been the 11s that this started with the triple camera setup, that they've gotten so much better with the camera because it's really not great. I think right now, hopefully, you can see out this door or out this window and out the window behind me, but that's because I'm using this camera. The front-facing camera is not that good. And I definitely notice the low light potential and the low light capacity when I'm in our bedroom and I take a video or a picture of my son. It's not very good. I always have to bump up the highlights, and then it looks blown out in some parts, but he looks good, and I'm excited for a new phone to have a better camera system. The new iPhone 11 Pro has a 3-camera setup, which is awesome. I'm really excited for the ultra-wide. I've always wanted an ultra-wide lens, and on these you've got a wide, which is 28 millimeters, which is not very wide, and a 55 millimeter telephoto. So it's basically a zoom and just like a kit lens for a DSLR. You basically have not very wide to really not very close either. 55 millimeters is not very close. And I went to photography school, or I went to school to be a photographer, so I know a little bit about what I'm talking about. Not much though. I quit that, and now I'm doing software engineering. But so it's a little different, and it's been a little while since I've thought about these things. So I am a little bit reputable, not too much though. I also have a small photography business that I used to do. I don't really do much anymore, but I did it at one point. But yeah. In the beginning, the battery life was decent. Going from the iPhone 7 Plus to the iPhone 10 was a little bit different because the iPhone 7 Plus had a very large battery, being that it was the Plus version of the phone. And now this phone being the smaller version, it's a little different, a little smaller screen and a little smaller battery. But what you get out of the screen is amazing because it's an OLED screen, and that just means that it's using a different display technology than the previous phones. So previously, and with the new 11 and the 10R, you had LCD displays, liquid crystal displays, LCD. And those were nice for the time. With OLED, you get the deepest blacks because the displays, or the pixels turn off when black is shown on the screen. So you get really rich, deep black when something black is on the screen. It's just really nice. You don't notice it until you see it in your hand, how nice the OLED is compared to the previous LCD screens. But I mean, it's awesome. The OLED screen is really one of the reasons why the screen on this phone is the reason why I'm still enjoying this phone. Previously, my iPhone career, and that's going to be another video, of course, my iPhone timeline, which I'll talk about in another video. But previously, had the iPhone 7 Plus, and it was a LCD screen, and it was a pretty big screen, but it had the large forehead and chin, where this phone has only the notch, which I don't care about anymore. I'm not upset about it. I think at the time when the notch came out, everyone was upset. For some reason, I don't really know. It looks fine. You get used to it. I've definitely gotten used to it now, being, I think, 2 years since I've had this phone. But it's not important. The notch does not matter anymore. Yeah, I didn't. So another topic is wireless charging. I never had wireless charging before until this phone, and it's been great. I never really used it until now. For Father's Day, my wife got me a charging station. So I've got it's a little station. Put my phone, I put my AirPods. I lock my AirPods in with the charger because I don't have the wirelessly charging AirPods, and then I also can charge my Apple Watch on there. So it's a really great system. I really like the wireless charging aspect about it, and it's good because it's a kind of a base for my phone to sit in, and it doesn't move around at night, or there's no way I can miss the screen, or miss the dock. This was not my first phone. I'm trying to think in my head of different things. This was not my first phone without a headphone jack, so it's been very nice. Especially with my AirPods, I really like the fact that I don't have a headphone jack anymore, because you don't really need a headphone jack anymore, because you've got I'm gonna undo this, because you've got Bluetooth headphones. I mean, overall, I've really enjoyed this phone. There's only a few things. So I have the space gray version, and there's only a few things. There's a couple scuffs on the casing around the phone, like the sides. And this information came out when these phones came out. The silver iPhone 10 was the phone that they made. Follow me here. They made the silver one, and then they painted this space gray version. So the sides are just a painted silver, or they were silver, and then they painted the darker space gray over it. So when you scratch the edges and things like that, it becomes silver. So I really wish I would have got the silver version. It's also kind of annoying in the middle of the night. Actually, it doesn't really happen much anymore. But when you have a black phone and you go to tap on the screen, you don't know if the back is the screen or the front is the screen, because they're both black. Just a silly little thing. From my iPhone 7 Plus to my iPhone 10, the home button, and I say the home button, I mean the power button, the side button, is awesome. I love how big it is. It's really great. I use Siri all the time, like I said, and it is awesome. And it's much easier to touch at the location that it is, and especially because it's so large, it's very nice. It's very nice. That would be about the term that I would describe my iPhone 10 for 2 years. It is very nice. I think I am at 89% battery capacity, which is a little lackluster. But that's pretty good for me, because my iPhone 7 Plus, I don't even know. I think it was down to 83% or something like that. I ran that phone all the time, and I always had it on the charger. So, here we are now. But yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you're enjoying Confessions. I used to do a show called Matt Talks. Now I'm doing this Confessions from the Driver's Seat. I hope you're enjoying Confessions from the Driver's Seat with Matt Bramer, Tech Week. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I will see you in another video. Peace.